Welcome to Underworld UK, where Britain's darkest stories are brought to light. From the gritty streets of gangland London, Liverpool, Manchester and Birmingham, from Curtis Warren to the Cray twins to county lines and modern-day true crime, we cover everything. Bringing you new videos every week. Subscribe so that you'll be notified when the next video is put out. Imagine being locked in a prison cell, knowing an attack is coming, but not knowing when. Now, imagine 4 inmates walking in. The door shuts, and for nearly a full minute, there is no escape. This is the brutal filmed prison punishment that left one inmate facing the loss of a testicle. And the reason behind it? That's what makes this case even darker.
Yeah, your mixed race lads, a lot of them are Muslims, the blacks are Muslims, and the Asians are Muslims predominantly. But lovely kids. But you have a Muslim ruler on each wing at Full Sutton, and one's an overall ruler, and he was on A wing. I mean, a London kid, I won't mention his name, but he was the overall ruler of them. So if he put a nit on you, there'd be 40 of them waiting for you near the gym, and you'd go running up. Like, we used to go up in a gang of 40 and 50 all to the gym on his own, or the whites, right? But when sometimes one of the lads would run up front and they were waiting to jump out, slash you to foot, face, back, the lot.
This is Underworld UK, and today we're diving into a violent act of prison justice inside one of Britain's largest jails. The incident took place inside HMP Berwyn in Wrexham. The victim, Qasim Afzal, was already behind bars for a shocking crime. He had seriously injured a 4-month-old baby. Word spreads fast in prison. And crimes involving children, they carry consequences. According to the court, what happened next wasn't random. It was planned. In February 2024, 4 inmates made their move. Zain Abu Manahim, Zahir Hussain, Farha Khan, and Russell Lloyd. They entered Afzal's cell together. What followed was a sustained coordinated assault. Punches, kicks, and no way out. The prosecution made it clear he had no escape. And this wasn't just violence, it was being filmed. One of the attackers held a mobile phone, recording the entire beating, not just for evidence, but to send a message. Before we carry on, I have a question for you guys watching this video. Why do you think they filmed it? Power, fear, reputation? Let me know below. The attack lasted close to a minute, but the damage was lasting. The court heard the injuries were severe. The most shocking detail? One of Afzal's testicles had effectively died after being stamped on during the assault. Doctors say it may need to be surgically removed. What makes this even more chilling? Afzal knew something was coming. He had been warned. He didn't know when the attack would happen. But someone had even given him an improvised weapon to try and defend himself. It didn't matter. 4 attackers in a locked cell. There was only ever going to be one outcome.
Things that will get you smacked up inside a prison. So a lot of things can get you beat up inside a prison. Number 1, a lot of people will go to prison and think that they're bad, and a man inside a prison will beat you up just to show you that you're not bad and there's someone bigger and badder than you. Number 2, getting into debt. Number 3, taking drugs. Number 4, walking into a man's cell that you don't know, that ain't in it and didn't give you permission. Number 5, taking something that was lent to you and then passing it out. And there's many other things, but number 6 for the final one, respect. That's a very big thing inside a prison, in a big man prison, when you don't show it. And that's true life talks to everyone. Stay safe and stay free.
Judge Timothy Petts made it clear in court. This was punishment, a message, and an example to others. The footage, he said, was intended to be shared on WhatsApp, to show exactly what happens to people who commit certain crimes behind bars. And in the judge's words, the filming was just as serious as the violence itself. These weren't first-time offenders either. Abu Manahim had dozens of convictions, including violence, robbery and assault. Hussain had a long history of offences involving weapons and serious assault. Lloyd's record included robbery, threats to kill and repeated violence. and Khan, while mostly linked to drug offences, was still part of this coordinated attack. In court, their lawyers pointed to different factors: delays in the case being brought forward, efforts at rehabilitation, family circumstances. One had completed courses to address violent behaviour. Another was said to be trying to turn his life around. One even claimed he had been bullied inside prison himself.
I remember once, it was on a wing, there was two black lads that we'd seen earlier, right, but we thought they'd been shipped down to the main, like, we didn't know what they was in for at the time. They was actually classed as general population prisoners, which means that they was mixing in with normal prisoners on the wing. So me and about four of the cleaners were standing there, and he said, "Oh, for rape." So I was like, my brain's telling me to just kick the shit out of this kid, and then I'm thinking, you know what, you're getting out soon. So I walked into the server, he slammed the door. One of the other lads come in right behind me and he goes, "I've just said to him now, so what's happened is you both tag team this girl." Yeah, this girl was 13 years old. The legal age of consent in the UK, guys, is 16 years old, and we just paid one of the lads to target him and stuff, and shit parsley him and throw piss at him and try to attack him. And the lad was even willing to put himself on protection so that he could become a do not unlock, so that when he got out, he'd be unlocked at the same time as them prisoners.
But the court wasn't convinced these factors outweighed what happened in that cell. All four men admitted causing grievous bodily harm without intent. Their punishment? An additional 2.5 years in prison, added on top of their current sentences. More time behind bars. And a delayed release. But here's the bigger question. Does prison create its own form of justice? Or does it just allow more violence to thrive behind closed doors? Because cases like this sit in a grey area. Some people will say the victim got what was coming to him. Others will say, no matter the crime, this crosses a line. If you found this case as disturbing as it is fascinating, make sure you hit like. It really helps push these stories out. And if you want more deep dives into the UK's criminal underworld, subscribe to Underworld UK. There's always another story, and they only get darker. We are now about to listen to Behind Bars TV. This is a guy in the know when it comes to everything prison. Check out his YouTube channel for authentic stories and news about what's really going on in UK's jails.
A prisoner is losing his testicle after a vicious prison justice beatdown. Oh, this happened in HMP Berwyn, which is in Wales. And before I get into the story, I will tell you a little bit about HMP Berwyn. But this punishment beating, which was handed down in 2024, I believe it was, I'll tell you in a second. And this type of prison justice is absolutely brilliant when you hear it, because this inmate was in for attacking a baby. So HMP Berwyn is a Category C men's prison, a resettlement jail, which opened in 2017, and it is actually the largest prison in the UK, accommodating over 2,000 inmates. It's focused on rehabilitation, supposedly, but it is definitely not, because there's a lot of stories come out of HMP Berwyn, and they thought they were opening a resettlement prison with 2,000 prisoner capacity, but it is an absolute shithole. Even though it has got maybe state-of-the-art things inside of it, it is an absolute shithole. But it does say HMP Berwyn capacity and type holds approximately 2,100 Category C male inmates, though it also accommodates some Category B prisoners. So now getting into the story, people, what you all want to hear. So a prisoner in Wrexham who was jailed for seriously injuring a baby is about to lose his testicle after he was brutally attacked by 4 inmates. Well done to the 4 inmates. Qasim Afzal was set upon up in his cell at HMP Berwyn while the attackers filmed the beating they inflicted upon him. Carnarvon Crown Court heard the attack was so severe, one of the victim's testicles had died. and may have to be surgically removed. In February 2024, the pre-planned attack was carried out by 4 inmates because Afzal had attacked and injured a 4-month-old baby. Now, that is an absolute wrong'un, a bacon. Even though he hasn't done anything sex, he's attacked the baby. He's still classed as a bacon. A bacon isn't just somebody who has done something to a little one, like I've just said. But I don't know whether or not this has actually happened on a bacon wing, which I don't think it has. I think a lot of them in HMP Berwyn, because it's a Category C, it's a resettlement prison, they're all mixed in because that is what they're trying to do. With a lot of these Category C prisons, they're saying, why should they be separated? They're not separated on the outside in the community, so we'll house them all together. And there has been a lot of attacks like this happening.